Hi guys, I'm Marticore, and today we are testing how genetics work in Paralives in the actual game. So there is an entire wiki page for Paralives already, and there is a genetics section there, and you can read all about it. But I want to play with genetics a little bit in the Paramaker and just see if I can recognize facial features, if I can figure out how the genetics work based on both the wiki and what I actually see in game. Keep in mind that first, this is early access and that this is actually earlier access because I'm recording this on Sunday before the game is even released. I got an early code, thank you so much. I've never posted anything about this game on this channel. This is the first time, but I've been waiting for it for 7 years. So here we are. So this is early access and a lot will be improved. Actually, the wiki lists a lot of things that will be added later on, but I want to see what they've accomplished so far. So I am trying really hard not to compare this game to The Sims. It annoys me a little bit when people do that. I don't think it's fair to compare when it's an indie game. I really try to give it justice of just treating it as a life sim, but some comparison is inevitable because the similarities are crazy, you know, like it's the same genre. So just for reference, from what we know now, from what they announced and what the wiki says, a feature of genetics similar to The Sims 2 and a little bit Sims 3 is that recessive genes exist, and that paras can inherit some traits from their grandparents, but apparently not facial features. So this is a lot like The Sims 2 in this regard. When it comes to Sims 4, hair texture can be passed on, so if a sim has afro texture, the child will have a hairstyle chosen that is tagged as that texture. That's how I understand it. But of course there are completely new things as well. For example, height exists in this game, so there are also height genetics. And the solution for inheriting unnatural hair like pink, purple, green is made apparently in a completely new way. So we'll check that out too. The lady is, how tall are you? She is 162. She has a custom skin tone that is very pale, but also a little like olive undertoned, like yellowy. She has freckles. She has the basic green eyes. Still learning to navigate the Paramaker here. Doesn't say which eyes these are. Yeah, this is it. But I chose the... Oh, thank you. The eyes without the shine, without the light in them. So she's obviously very pale. He has a darker skin tone and a little bit more cool toned. She also has, like, this entire skin tone is customized, and also her lips are kind of like grayish in tone. So I want to see how that plays out. So she has kind of like fishy lips, but also very thin. Hooded eyes, a little bit of a bump on her nose. She's very pretty though. I think everyone is cute in this game. It's just the art style. He has a lot more real estate on his eyelids. He has brown eyes. Yeah, it's the brown from the game. I didn't customize anything when it comes to eyes. His skin tone is the base skin tone that just exists in the game, so his lips are a little bit pink. He also has sticking out ears, a tiny bit of a chubby face. So now I can play with genetics, but I want to play with genetics to make an adult, like a young adult. Create from genetics, and I can't choose a young adult because they are both young adults. So if I make them adults, can I do it? Yes, but all I see is feet. When I make them elders and try to play with genetics and make an adult, the same thing happens. I think I have to report this. You can do it here, by the way. Very useful. Also, I wanted to point out that the Paramaker is not binary in any way. Like, the face presets are for all of the genders, and when you change a male into a female, only the voice changes because it's like a default voice, but nothing changes in the appearance of the para. So I'm assuming that there are no differences between genders when it comes to facial features as well. So like her son will have exactly the same nose, exactly the same eyes. I really like that. Create from genetics, young adult please, not just feet. Okay. So we're doing female right now, and I can see that she has a slightly different hair color than her mom, because that's what happens. I am not exactly sure if the game just like makes up recessive genes for first generation paras, or if it's like a range thing. So the wiki says a lot about the dominant and recessive genes, but it doesn't really say anything about there being a range of hair color that gets inherited. Like if a parent has one blonde, the kid may have a different shade of blonde or be ginger, which would make sense because that's like a mutation of blonde basically. But in game with those first generation paras, I've noticed that there's pretty much any color happening almost. The blonde changes into any kind of light-ish color. It can be a redhead, it can be like light brownish red. It is sometimes the same shade of blonde. The game just takes from presets. And for the dad's dark hair, I've noticed that it just takes whatever there is between the black and darker brown. And since it takes from preset, it can even give you a child that already has highlights in their hair, because it just chooses a brown color that happens to have blonde highlights. Technically, the mom is blonde, but that's not how it works, okay? I hope that this is truly an early access thing. Maybe even like my early copy of the game doesn't exactly have a full genetic system, so please don't take this video as an encyclopedia of how Paralives genetics work. This is not a genetics video. I'm just checking it out, I'm just testing it, having fun with it, but remember that this might change on the day of the release in early access and also within the first weeks of early access. This can be completely different in like a month. I just got a new shiny game with a new genetics system, and I wanted to see how it works, for now. So I have the father here, and I can see that the chin is somewhat similar, but it's not exactly the same. So is it like, because you know, sliders get inherited, but I am not sure to what extent. If sliders can be combined, there are so many sliders in this game. Maybe the width of the chin got inherited from the mom, but the length of it got inherited from the dad. I don't really know. I can see that the nose is exactly the same as the dad's. Right? Yeah, from the side as well. And the lips are exactly the same as the mom. What about the eyes? I am not sure, because they are not as hooded as the mom has. Also, the eye color is a tiny bit different. It's green, but it's a different shade of green, and it has the shine from the dad, I guess. Maybe it doesn't get inherited at all. Like the shiny eyes are just the default. That's possible. Yeah, the eyebrows are just bushier because it's a different style of eyebrows. That's fine, but the shape seems to be the father's. And also the sticking out ears that are exactly the same as the father's. Skin tone is kind of in between. It's definitely darker than the mom's, but it's also cooler. Did she get a preset skin tone? Yeah. Actually, her nose is not identical. The bridge of the nose is wider. And back to the eyes, I think they kinda mixed as well, because they're a little bit hooded. Like, the shape seems to be the dad's, but the eyelid is smaller. So it's like in between? Okay, what do I have to do with the sliders to kind of imitate the dad's eyes? What happened with the sliders here? Oh, it's this slider, right? Yeah, so this slider's... Wait, let's check the numbers. She technically is at 0 here, so it's hard to say. He is at 100 for eye-fold height. And she is at 0 as well, so maybe she got like the eye shape, like the preset of the eyes from the dad, but the eyelid slider is the same as the mom's. So the wiki also says that the game considers sliders as sets to make it easy for players to recognize whose body part was inherited from which parent, and that the child inherits all the relevant sliders from that parent, whatever relevant means in this case. They might inherit their entire set of nose sliders from the mom and the cheeks from their dad. So it kind of sounds like it only passes down a whole set of nose or eye shape and not separate sliders to mix them, but I've noticed that they get mixed. Or if I checked sliders of the nose that had a wider bridge, because that happened twice at least, I looked at the sliders and the bridge slider was kind of like default. It was at 50 when the dad's was 0 because it was very thin, very narrow, and the mom's was 55. And 50 happened twice. So I'm assuming that this is not a random number between the parents, but actually like a reset slider. So this might just be like an issue to be fixed. But at the same time, I feel like I see it in game that sliders get like you can get a set of eyes from one parent, but one slider of those eyes gets inherited from the other parent and the eyes look slightly different. Maybe this is a glitch too, but please don't fix this because I freaking love it. This is so good. Please don't take it away from me. Oh, okay, the face is definitely wider. Why is that? The chubby cheeks exist. She got a preset skin tone as well. The eyes are hooded and the eye color is like amber-ish. So it's a lot lighter than the dad's, but that actually makes sense. She also got her mom's freckles, but they kinda adjusted to her skin tone and are darker than her mom's freckles because her mom's freckles are super light. They're like gold, I guess. And hers are brown. But it actually says in the wiki that the devs said that there might be some issues with freckles. They get inherited, but there might be some skin tone issue. Like someone gets very light freckles with very dark skin and stuff like that. But here, it actually really works. So the eyebrows are the mom's, I think. Yeah, it's again different style, but the same shape. Also, pretty much the eye shape is all hers. And the nose, is it exactly the same? I guess it just fits in the face a little bit differently. Maybe it's a little wider? That also makes sense because her whole face is wider. So it's like, you know, you inherit stuff from your like facial features from your parents, but everything that you have on your face kind of fits your face most of the time. So if you have a wider face, you also have a wider nose, because that's just how everything like falls into place, right? Wait, can I give you shorter hair, please? Also, she got the texture from her dad. It's very curly. Okay, your face is not that wide, actually. It was the hair that was giving me that impression. Yeah, I think that like the chubby cheeks are dad's, but the chin is a lot shorter. It's the mom's chin, but just like a tiny bit different, maybe. No, even like the line here is it's not identical, but it's very similar. Okay, so because the cheeks are the dad's and the shorter chin is the mom's, this kind of gave like a new face shape. Okay, the dad has the thing here. It's technically just like Adam's apple, but it's very prominent. So this is the only binary thing that exists, I guess. Oh wow, you got a lot of freckles. I think you got the different kind of freckles, right? Oh, also like the shirt. Wait, what's up with the eyelashes? Which eyelashes does the mom have? The second. And he got the first for some reason. Okay, this is something that might be too random. Like both parents have the second eyelashes, like the default ones, I guess. And suddenly the guy got very thick, strong, long eyelashes. Of course, because he's a dude. The ladies didn't get those. Again, eye color is a little bit different than the dad's. It's a little bit lighter, but it's still brown. He didn't get the sticking out ears. He got his ears, yeah, pretty much from the mom, I think. And the lips, of course. And his hair is like brown, dark brown. Okay, your face shape is interesting. Lose the beard, please. Finally, someone got a different face shape than the dad. Okay, he got freckles as well, but it's again a different type of freckles, I think. No, it's the same ones. I'm not sure about the other guy, though. Yeah, I think that guy got those because he had them on his forehead as well. Or maybe they just, like, layered. I'm not sure. But apparently, one type of freckles can lead to a different type of freckles on the offspring. Okay, so what is this face shape? Yeah, it's very similar to the mom, but I feel like there is something from the dad here. Like a slider here and there. Yeah, because the chin is a little bit different, considering that gender differences don't exist here. Okay, let's check out the natural colors. Red might actually be considered natural, I guess. Maybe like really bright red. And for her, like turquoise with both tips and roots. Yeah, something like this. And now let's make a child. It can just be a child, I don't mind. Yeah, so in this case, the game will just choose a random color because it has like a rule of certain colors being a natural. Again, it's like a range of color, like a range of pink, a range of blue, a range of green that is considered unnatural, and the game will just randomize a color that is like the natural color of the parent technically. And also it doesn't take from the roots. It takes from the base color. So if I make her have roots that are somewhat a natural color, like a dark blonde, so even the eyebrows copy the color from the base color of the hair, not the roots. So for this to make sense, to not assume that he dyed his eyebrows as well, I would have to change the color of the eyebrows. Because if I match it, they get red. If I don't match it, I can just choose it. Okay, so now when I play with the genetics, again, this is probably a coincidence. Yeah, the kids just get random colors. Like, you know, the range for colors is pretty big. Even when they inherit colors, so it's kind of hard to say, I guess. It would be nice if it actually chose the root color, because a lot of the times if your character has dyed hair, sometimes people choose the roots of their natural color, you know, because like the roots are the realest color of your actual hair, because that's what actually grows out from your head. So to me that would make more sense, and actually I kind of feel like maybe, like especially for people who are more of fantasy players, maybe it would be better to actually inherit whatever color the parent has, even if it's unnatural. If you want to have like an anime stylized game and you just make everyone's hair blue, pink, green, whatever, and you just assume that this is a natural color, that would be nice if the kid could get maybe like a different shade of blue, but still blue. You can edit your paras after you've created them later in gameplay, and that doesn't change their genetics. So maybe it's better to create your para with their natural hair color, and whatever color you want to give them, you can just give them later on so that they have the base natural color that will get passed on to offspring. Okay, so I have a kid now that got exactly the same hair color as the dad and almost the same eye color as the mom. So now I will create just a random... Oh, she's pretty. Just a random person with a different hair color than the first mom had. So let's make her like this. And I will make them have kids and see if it looks like the blonde from the mom or the brown eyes from the dad appear. The thumbnails don't exactly show what they look like, so just use your imagination. She has brown hair, he has black hair. So this very warm dark blonde appeared, but I am not sure if this is a range from the brown or from the blonde. It's really hard to say sometimes when the game chooses like a similar color. Yeah, it seems like some kind of blonde appears, but it's not, like so far, it hasn't been the light blonde. Yeah, the highlights again. But brown eyes, sometimes, yeah, I can see the brown eyes happening from time to time. The blonde hair, not so much. Where did you get this pink skin tone? Who has a similar one? No one. They have both exactly the same skin tone, actually. Okay, is it supposed to be like in between someone somewhere? I'm not sure I like the idea of the kids getting a completely different skin tone when the parents have exactly the same one, like maybe a tiny bit darker or a tiny bit lighter, or like different highlights and lip color or something like that, but like a very cool toned skin tone from parents that have a more warm one, not a fan. Okay, so there are some quirks to the system. Not everything I exactly love, like when I go into details, but the potential of sliders getting inherited from both parents for the same face part, I love that. And as the range of eye colors make a lot of sense, the range of hair colors, in my opinion, could be a little bit tighter. And also, I am not a fan of just inheriting presets instead of actual things that the parents have. Like, I think no one ever got the exact same skin tone as the mom has, because it's a custom one. The fact that it gets mixed makes a lot of sense. But okay, what if he actually gets exactly the same skin tone? Yeah, the kid can get, again, like a range of skin tones, and this is a preset skin tone. Even though it is somewhat similar, but it's not exactly the same. It's kind of like the game just can't choose the custom skin tone. You know, this is early access, they are still working on it, so what they've accomplished so far, as I said at the beginning, for an early access game, life sim game, that definitely requires to have a genetic system, it's good enough for now. There is some room for improvement, but I think this improvement will actually come to the game, so that's a good thought. Okay, I completely forgot about the height genetics, wait a sec. And let's make this lady, like again 162. For now, I think body shapes don't get inherited at all, they just get randomized or something. Okay, she is 181. So yeah, she is considered tall from her dad. Basically, the game just chooses if a particular para is tall, short, or medium height, and within that range just randomizes a number, which makes perfect sense because you're hardly ever really exactly the same height as your parent, right? And I also like that a female can inherit height from her dad and also be tall like her dad and the other way around. So you can see that the height just changes a little bit. I wonder if anyone will inherit like the medium height from the mom, because it just seems like everyone gets tall. Okay, if I make the mom shorter, if I make her 149, if I make her Sabrina, again, tall, 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 tall. Why is everyone tall? Also, I like that even though the Paramaker is very non-binary, there is some difference in height between men and women. Like, you can see that the tall for women is a little bit different. Like, the dad is 197. Also, you can change the metrics. You can change the measurements in the settings, by the way. And his tall daughter is 181. That makes perfect sense because for women, 180 is quite tall. And it's kind of an equivalent of if a man is 195 or something like that. Like if a woman is 165, it's an equivalent of a guy being like 180, right? So I like that this is taken into consideration, like at what point a female is considered tall and at what point a male is considered tall. What I don't like is that I don't get short people at all. This is probably still in development, I'm guessing. But the fact that it's a range is how it should be, definitely. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you liked me tinkering with Paralives. And as always, thank you very much for watching the video, and see you in the next one. Bye!